All right, welcome everyone. So, how do we design AI not to replace our teaching, but to reveal learning, the bits that usually stay hidden? My design study is about shifting AI from a passive assistant to a structured partner that helps students think, reflect, and collaborate. A year ago, I heard the idea of AI as a team leader from Bowen at AACNU and from Malik on Substack, framing AI as a coach and a simulation partner. Those ideas clicked for me, and I began experimenting with how they could make collaboration more inclusive and successful in my classes. I decided to experiment with AI as a project lead in two of my courses. You might be wondering, why add AI to a group task? Well, I'm teaching first year students, and I don't know about you, but their maturity level, understanding of equal effort, thoroughness, accountability, time management, not great. So group project can be disappointing and chaotic. Some students go into cognitive overload, others drift off into side chats, and the prepared ones will beg you never to group them up ever again with certain students. So I thought, okay, why not throw AI into the mix and test it all out? Research has shown that too often classroom pedagogy comes from old habits, philosophy, not evidence. Resistance to integrating AI is also mostly rooted in ideology rather than data, and that is exactly why I felt my design case study was necessary. That I will document my design and I will critically evaluate it as I go. My design thinking was inspired by Shigata Mitra's self-organized learning environments, which centers on curiosity-driven collaboration around big questions. The teacher's job is to design the question, set up the workspace, and then step back. My design redefines the instructor's role from directing learning to designing the conditions for collaboration. UDL is an educational framework I relied on. AI chatbots can be useful, inclusive learning agents addressing the diverse student needs and strategies that reduce barriers to learning and providing personalized support to make education more accessible. Another framework I relied on comes from the ISTE organization, which has recently extended its student empowerment effort with essential AI life skills, the profile of an AI-ready graduate. I reimagined group work with AI as a project lead with 3 of these 6 learning-centered AI life skills: learner, synthesizer, and connector. Um, so when AI tools became available, and let me just explain that before I explain my design. All these AI chatbots have been marketed as it makes learning easier. But what teachers and students think about easier, yeah, night and day. So for teachers, us, it means level appropriate instructions, inclusive design, deeper student learning, friction. For many students, it means less effort, outsourcing the hard parts, letting AI do the revision, and getting to the end product much faster. Same word, completely different words. Earlier this year, my AI engagement spectrum study revealed this exact tension. Even when I directed my students to use AI as their guide and it wasn't an option, it wasn't an add-on, most of them did not deeply engage. I understood that scaffolding alone doesn't guarantee efficiency and ethical use. That's why I started redesigning for what I call productive friction. Using an AI chatbot as a pedagogical partner should intentionally include productive friction, requiring thoroughness, reflection, and reduced sloppiness. Addressing this tension required my reimagining how AI is situated. My design case question was whether structured, instructor design AI interactions functioning as an AI project lead can effectively support students in navigating collaborative academic tasks. In March, I felt my design was ready. I had a group podcast project with a detailed and tested out AI as a project lead prompt, which I created with a GPT using multi-shot prompting. The students were grouped up, step-by-step instructions, the big question, the laptop, the single point mastery-oriented grading rubric. What could possibly go wrong, you ask? So as I analyzed the chats and listened to the entertaining but clearly imbalanced and underdeveloped podcast episodes, I knew that there was an error in my design and that I had to adjust parts of it if I wanted to repeat this project. While analyzing the AI chats and student work and disappointment, the major AI companies started releasing an updated version of their LLMs: study mode, learning mode, guided learning. Anthropic was the first one in April, so I immediately revised my podcasting prompt to match their model. I was so impressed with my new prompt design, I completely overlooked a crucial element in my revision process. You can guess what it was by looking at the slide title. Big, big mistake right there. So while my students did a little bit better this time, they still focused on getting to the end product, finishing it. AI was still sycophantic and ignored the need for equal workload. The core flaw in my design was in the grading rubric. It did not reference the quality of student AI collaboration and accountability. So my new instructional design puts AI not as a replacement for human agency, but as a structured support mechanism with an extended plan going beyond the podcast project. The fall iteration redistributed AI engagement across stage checkpoints, and AI became a visible collaborative scaffold whose interaction patterns can be observed and evaluated. So this fall, I created 2 learning environments to test out my updated design. One, live in-class simulations. Students gather around one laptop, typing responses together, practicing real-time reasoning and accountability. And 2, larger hybrid projects that mixed independent and group work with structured sync-up checkpoints to exchange chat links between students. So let's take a look at the assignment designs. The debate simulation design here uses a dual role AI, part Socratic coach, part opponent. It challenges students' reasoning, enforces equal participation, requires evidence-based rebuttals, and makes turn-taking visible. Each chat is graded for depth, peer referencing, and how well students revise after AI's feedback. In these simulations right here, students interacted with an AI debate partner while also receiving real-time coaching because the AI switched between those 2 roles, pushing students to practice reasoning, cite evidence, and revise their arguments. Their thinking became visible, showing refined claims after feedback. And here the intervention simulation pushes students to practice empathy and critical reasoning. The AI plays 2 roles, a strategist coach and a cult member using persuasive, emotionally charged language. Students listen, label manipulative phrasing, and engage using evidence and respect. Their effort is made visible, their learning experience reflective. Here's a moment from the simulation where students practice what I call strategic compassionate dialogue. You can see how the AI guided them to move from accusation to curiosity, helping them soften their tone. The focus here wasn't on persuasion or winning, but reflection and emotional intelligence in real time. And you can see there when the student says, "Coach, help me settle this debate." And finally here, AI functioned as a research-oriented project lead. The prompt included structured sync-up checkpoints where students had to reflect on each teammate's contributions and progress and revise their work accordingly. The rubric assessed how students responded to AI coaching, recycled evidence effectively, and critically accepted or rejected AI suggestions. AI guided them through a textual analysis, and through feedback, they were developing analytical depth and citation accuracy at the same time. With structured checkpoints, they reflected on their and their peers' progress, ensuring that the project was fully completed by the deadline. So these design approaches extend beyond first-year courses, I believe. They offer a framework for any educator seeking to make AI as a catalyst for empowering, self-organized learning that merges inclusivity, autonomy, and ethical AI integration. So think about the question, what would AI as a project lead look like in your courses? Thank you.